Greetings, this is Charles again, and this is short lesson number 2 about overseeing and leading a nonprofit organization or a school or a church or a business for that matter. And I want to talk to you about the annual budgeting process, and I'm going to tell you what I did for my church and NGO every year. The reason I'm thinking about this is I'm preparing this in October, and the beginning of October is when we started preparing our budget for the following year. Let me remind you, there are 3 priorities, at least 3 priorities for a CEO, for the boss, for the director of the entity. Number 1, they must think about the future. They must look into the future. They must evaluate where we are now in this year, what's changed in our society, where do we want to go next year, what do we want to add, what do we want to change, what do we want to take away. Secondly, they have to think about their staff. How are they going to take care of the staff? They must give their staff attention. You can't neglect your staff. You have to spend, your staff are the most important thing that you can do, because it is your staff that's doing the work, the hands-on work. So you have to make sure that they're taken care of, their spirit, their soul, and their body, their spiritual needs, their emotional needs, mental needs, intellectual needs, educational needs, and physical needs. You have to make sure those are taken care of. You have to show care and concern for them. And third is money. You have to think about the money. Staff is not thinking about the money. You have to think about the money. If you're a business person, how are you going to get your income? Okay, if you're a school, if you're a church, or if you're an NGO, where's the money going to come from? And so that's are the 3 priorities that you have. And so, speaking about money. And so for my organization, every October was the beginning of the budget process for the next year. You can't wait till December, you can't wait till January to make your budget. You have to make it at least in October, if not earlier, if not in September. And so this is what I did, is I created a form. I can send you that form if you want. And I had every department complete this form. Every department. So what are some typical departments? Well, in an NGO, for example, there's the administration department. And the administration department, community outreach department, education department, women's department, health department, or missions department. Missions are those that are going out and doing something outside the local area. Okay, and if you have a branch school or a branch organization, you include those in also, and they make their budgets. And so what we have to do is I gave this form to every department head. Every department, by the way, must have a head. Now, if you're a small organization or you're just starting, you're going to do all of this yourself. But as you grow, this will help you. So every department, I ask them the question, what do you want to do next year? So think about all the things. You want to have training, you want to buy books, you want to go someplace with your staff, or you want to do whatever you want to do, whatever special speaking you have in, seminars, anything like that. What do you want to do? And what kind of supplies are you going to need to do it with? What kind of stuff? What do you want to do, and what kind of stuff do you need to do it with? You try to think about all the things that you want to do. And then next, when are you going to do it? Okay, so this is annual calendar planning. And so you put into your calendar, okay, well, I want to have a special training at the end of every month. I want to do a seminar twice a year. I want to have a once a year outing for my staff. And so all the things that you're going to do, you're going to have a monthly quiz if you're a school, or a test, or whatever it is. You think about all the things you want to do. Your staff thinks of that. Not you. You don't think of it. You may have some ideas and you can contribute, but you give it to your staff to do, all right? Your department heads. Why are you doing that? Because you don't want to be a one-man or a one-woman show. You want to give this out, delegate it to your staff so you can develop their capacity, so they know how to think, they know how to plan, and also they have buy-in. Okay, it's something that came from them, and they can discuss it with you, and probably should discuss it with you. In fact, that would be one of the next steps. And so you give them the form, think of all the things that you want to do, and when do you want to do it? Put it into the calendar. And the next question is, how much will it cost? So they think through everything. How much is it going to cost for paper, for office supplies, to travel someplace, for gasoline, everything. They try to think through every part of the budget that it's going to cost to do what they want to do. Then they finish that before the end of October, and then they submit their proposal, their ideas, to the board. Okay, this is important for you to work together with a board, not just by yourself. You need a board. We'll talk about that in another video. But they submit it to the board, and the board reviews it. The board gets all the wish list and the plans from all the departments. The board looks at it, and they can either say, yes, this is good. All of this adds up to this much money. I think we can get this much money to do all these things. But usually, you have to cut. You say, no, you have a great vision, you want to do a lot, but we cannot get this much money. I don't think we're going to have this much income in the next year. So you give it back, they do it again. They go through the second time and they reevaluate it, they cut some things, they move some things around, they change some things, they redo it. They resubmit it. Okay, so maybe in November, okay, the beginning of November, they do this. There's a timeline. This is all timeline. You want to finish it before December, if possible. Everything before the December. And so when you finally, the board gets all of the requests and all the plans, what do you want to do? And when do you want to do it? And how much is it going to cost? And you might throw in there, how are you going to do it? That's usually going to be associated with the cost. Okay, and then the board pulls it together, and the board says, all right, we agree with all this, so this is going to be our budget for the next year. For NGOs, schools, for example, churches, the budget is always by faith. It's always hopeful. We never have guarantee that we're going to have that much money. But we prepare it, then we write proposals. All right, then we have to, how are we going to get the money? So you write proposals. But now you have a vision, you have goals from each department, and you have strategies, you know exactly how much it's going to cost. That is a very powerful tool to present to donors. And so you have to think through, we'll talk about the proposals is also another short video, but you write proposals and you want to submit those proposals before the new year, long before the new year. The first half of December is best. You send the proposals to people and organizations that you hope to be able to receive donations from, and then hopefully they'll have time to review them. You see, if you do this too late, many donor organizations, they have their own budget for the new year. Some of these might have money left over from the current year that they're happy to give out. And if you're there to ask them for it, you have a clear vision, you have clear goals, you have clear strategy, you have clear costs and timeline. There's a lot of hope for that. All right, so this is the second video on the annual budgeting process. You need to start it no later than October. September would be better. You need to finish it by the end of November and get it out to your potential donors in December, the first half of December. That is really my advice to you.